What is going on, folks? I apologize, I'm a bit late to all this today, but there's been some major news with Pokemon Legends ZA, and what I want to talk more about, which is Pokemon Champions, the strictly competitive battler that should be coming out at some point in 2026. Now, I want to say I'm going into this mostly blind. I haven't had a whole lot of thoughts or weight behind any of these things, so we're just gonna dive right into it. But before I do, I just want to say I'm disappointed that I'm not included in the YouTubers list on my favorite subreddit, the Stunfix subreddit. So hopefully we can get that fixed. But let's just get started. Yeah. So first of all, the big one everyone's talking about, which spoilers by the way, I mean this has already kind of been spoiled, but Mega Dragonite is here. Yes, it is true. There's a Mega Dragonite in Pokemon Legends ZA, and I actually really liked this person's, I'm gonna keep this zoomed actually, I like this a lot. I actually really liked this, the person who posted it, their suggestion, turn 1 D-Dance to use multi-scale and then Mega and Sweep. I really like that suggestion. I'm guessing this is probably just gonna be a very offensive Dragonite, a lot of attack, probably a lot boost in the special attack stat as well, and then obviously I think speed's going to be the biggest jump for it in this winged form, because this looks a whole lot more agile. The description of Dragonite also says it's much more agile, so I would have to figure that's probably going to be the result of this. Off the cuff, but apparently your two rivals in this game have a Scraggy. One has a Scraggy as a starter, which we already know that Mega Scrafty is a thing. And the other one is Staryu. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a Mega Starmie, but, certainly would allude to itself. So, that's all I got on ZA. We might talk more about ZA sometime later in the week, but right now, that's all I really got for ZA, because I want to talk more about the competitive side of things, which is, because there's more verifiable stuff with that one, and more stuff that they revealed with it. ZA was more talked about in the last one, and this Pokemon Presents, they more talked about Champions. So here's a new look. Here's a new look at Champions. Honestly, doesn't look too bad, especially since it's going to be on mobile. Don't hate it. Kind of hate the 10-minute timer though. Don't really care for that. This is what double battles will look like. Yes, there are single and double battles. It looks like there's a system to recruit Pokemon to your team, so you don't even have to bring your own Pokemon into the game. You can literally just recruit Pokemon for this victory points unit, which we'll talk about in a second here. And then this is what the stat builder system looks like, which looks pretty cool, honestly. It also kind of alludes to the fact that there might not be EVs or IVs in this version of the game. So we'll talk about that too. But then, yeah. And then this is what the, training, I guess, screen looks like for adding new moves and stuff. Something that's not shown on this screen, but is in the game, is if a move is quadruple effective, it will say, I think, extremely effective instead of super effective. And I think there's also a move for quad resist, but I'm not 100% sure of that. I did not see if there was one for quad resist, but I know for a fact there's a word for quad effective, which is pretty cool. So yeah, honestly, it looks really good. I actually really like the whole look of it. I like the idea of recruiting Pokemon, which I believe is on this slide. Yeah. But yeah, I really like this whole oh, wow, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I really like this whole system of the recruiting Pokemon, so that way you don't have to bring your guys in from the other Pokemon games. So I really like that system. Will this finally replace Showdown? Guys, we've been talking about things replacing Showdown for decades, and Pokemon Company taking down Showdown. I just don't see it. Personally, I know I'm getting off topic here. I just don't see it happening, honestly, at this point. If it does, I'll be very sad, because then how else am I going to farm content? But yeah, that's my take on it. But yeah, here's the speculation that EVs and IVs are gone in place of just 66 total stat points. And then this, yeah, I think I just don't see it, honestly. I don't know. I would be very surprised if they got rid of the EV-IV system. If there was a time to do it, though, yeah, it's probably this time. But I don't know. It would be such like a jarring like shift from the regular games. I don't know if they want to do it. I don't know if you want to just do this whole stat points now. This whole like stat point system where you get 66 stat points, and each stat point, I assume, is just going to raise your stat by +1, which would actually mean you have a total of effectively 32, 64, 66. So now you'd have, instead of 65, you'd have 66 stats to boost, which would be interesting. A totally off subject, but this alone kind of makes me think it won't replace Showdown, because if this is the case here, honestly, I wonder if EVs and IVs are really gone. I really do wonder how that would affect the competitive scene. I almost feel like you wouldn't want to use it for the competitive scene if that was the case. You know, I feel like you want your competitive games to be in the cartridge game, you know, but then again, they did kind of use Pokemon Stadium back in the day for the competitive formats. From my understanding, at least, they use Pokemon Stadium from the very limited footage we have of the first 4 generations of competitive Pokemon. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will, but I just very highly doubt it. But yeah, excuse the language, Mr. ILHarm07. I would never use such a word, but I would never use such words, actually. But yeah, it looks like victory points cannot be purchased. So like, there's no pay to win element. You have to like earn your way to do this stuff, which I very much appreciate. Thank you, Nintendo, for being smart and making that the decision that things have to be earned and can't just be bought. It is nice to see. Now, other things that might have to be bought. I would not put it past Nintendo to like put a buy system for how many Pokemon you can have in this game. I would 100% believe in a world in which Nintendo would charge you money to expand how many slots you can have, or how many Pokemon you can store. It could even be just directly tied to the Pokemon Home system, which also wouldn't surprise me a whole lot. So, but yes, shout out to them for victory points not being purchased in, strictly being something you have to earn. It is appreciated. And then yeah, this is what the assembly screen looks like. I think something interesting is they said you can bring some of your past partners into Pokemon Champions through Pokemon Home, which I don't know, makes me kind of wonder like what some alludes to, right? Like, does some mean like they're gonna have their own Champions is gonna have its own deck system, and we're not going to be able to, like, you know, import every Pokemon? Is it just going to work off the Gen 9 Pokédex? Is it just going to work off the Gen 10 Pokédex? Is it going to expand to the entire Pokédex? That's also a very plausible scenario that could exist within this realm of Pokemon. So, a lot of question marks there, but that's what we got. I think that's everything. Yes, that's everything. So, that's all I got for Pokemon Champions. Now, some other minor, like, programming notes, I guess you could say. It looks like the 4 Ruin guys will have shiny variants in Tera raid battles, and they can be given as mystery gifts. So, yeah, that's a thing. That's cool. Shiny Ruin guys are going to be available soon. And also, completely off topic from actually, we'll talk about this in a second, but that's all I got for Champions and stuff. Again, I might do a like deeper dive into this stuff and the implications of it, but I just want to get the news out today. So that's all I got. So thank you guys very much for watching. Leave your comments down below with your thoughts. Do we think Champions are going to be good? Do we think ZA is going to be good? I know there's not a whole lot out right now, but Champions, I mean, this whole Champions system, I think looks really clean, and I really hope for the best. I also really hope that IVs are not gone, because I think that would be a terrible direction to put the game. I would hate them all to just be golden bottle capped. It wouldn't totally surprise me, I still think it would be a bad decision, personally. Because I feel like that gets rid of some of the depth of team building, especially with Trick Room teams, which are like a very common archetype in VGC. So that's just my thoughts, though. But let me know your thoughts down below. And also, just a programming note, we're going to have 2 discussion videos coming up. One will be on Metronome, which that's completely independent of what I'm about to tell you here. But it looks like the Scarlet and Violet OU Tiering Council is discussing Tera Blast's place in the metagame. So there's a smoke on forum for that. You can leave your thoughts there. But I think we might have a discussion video on this soon as well. Just a little teaser of my opinion. I like Tera Blast. I think it's fun. I think it can be frustrating, but overall, I think it is a fun mechanic. Obviously, Tera Blast, even if Tera Blast were, which I don't think they're discussing banning Tera Blast, at least right now. I think it's just a discussion on what it is and like what people feel about it. But I think right now, obviously, if they were to ban Tera Blast, that doesn't mean Tera is going to be banned. It's just a ban cheesy stuff like Tera Ghost or Tera Ghost Dragapult, or like Tera Fairy King Gambit, or like Tera Fly Dragonite, you know, stuff like that. But personally, I like Tera Blast a lot. I think it's part of the fun of the game. I think it's like an equivalent to like Z moves, kind of. So I personally like them. Yeah, probably not everyone's going to feel the same way about that. I can understand them being very frustrating to fight. So totally get that. But that's all we got for today. Thank you all very much for watching. If everyone could tell Stunfist now to just add me to the YouTubers list, that would be great. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.